students of class 9, class 10 A and B. Class 10 A and B. Already I have introduced you a lesson named Mahatma Gandhi and the national movement. The role of Mahatma Gandhi, why did he start the non-cooperation movement, why did he support the Khilafat movement, in support of the Khilafat movement, how was he able to establish unity between the Hindus and Muslims, and under what circumstances had the two Ali brothers, who were the founders of the Khilafat movement, agreed to support the stand of Mahatma Gandhi when he started the non-cooperation movement. Why did he start the non-cooperation movement? I also discussed in protest against, the Rowlatt Act, which was passed against the interest of the Indian people, and in protest against the Khilafat issue, in protest against the Jallianwala Bagh incidents, Gandhiji started the non-cooperation movement. In my previous class, I discussed about it. Now, today I am going to discuss about it under which circumstances had Gandhiji withdrawn the non-cooperation movement. Gandhiji started, the non-cooperation movement in protest against the Khilafat movement, in protest against Khilafat issue, in protest against, in protest against the, the Caliph of, Muslim state, the Caliph of the Muslim state. And at the time when he started the Khilafat movement, the time when he started the Khilafat issue, that time who was the Caliph of the Caliph of or Sultan of Turkey? The Sultan of Turkey was their religious head. Hence, the Muslims had great sympathy for their Sultan, since their Sultan was Caliph or religious head. So Gandhiji immediately decided to take the advantage. He wanted to strengthen unity between the Hindus and Muslims, and hence he supported the Khilafat movement. And afterwards, the British, passed the Rowlatt Act. The Rowlatt Act harmed the sentiments of Indian people. Most of the people were highly, highly insulted by the British. So, without any reason, so many innocent people also were arrested under the terms of the Rowlatt Act, and there was no system of providing impartial judgment for them. The person who was arrested once was arrested without trial and conviction in a court of law. That's why the Rowlatt Act also was declared Black Act by the people of India. Gandhi started demonstrations and movement against the Rowlatt Act, and besides, and the Jallianwala Bagh, which created nationwide sensation. Thousands of people died, and more than 1,000 people wounded, near about. But the incident came as a reign of terror throughout the country. So, in protest against these factors, these were the factors Gandhiji started the non-cooperation movement. Now, I am going to discuss about why did Gandhiji start the non-cooperation movement? Why did Gandhiji start the non-cooperation movement? Suspension of non-cooperation movement, suspension of non-cooperation movement. Why did Gandhiji suspend the non-cooperation movement? Now I am going to discuss it. Gandhiji suspended the non-cooperation movement at the time when the movement was on its climax. Maximum people who were in prison, who were in the jail, they criticized the decision of Gandhiji, the decision of withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement. But the reason why did he withdraw the non-cooperation movement? You know, Chori Chora incident also was there. Chori Chora incident, which was the reason Gandhiji decided to Chori Chora incident. Chori Chora incident. What is Chori Chora incident? Chori Chora was a place near Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh, near about 3,000 peasants and farmers. They marched for the police station in protest against the insult. A group of volunteers were beaten by the police mercilessly. The time when they are protecting a liquor shop. That time the volunteers were beaten by the police officers. So in protest against that, humiliation, near about 3,000 peasants of Gorakhpur, they attacked the police station. And that time when they attacked the police station, 22 policemen were there. They were working. So they set on fire the police station. And so 22 policemen were killed. And when the news came to Gandhiji, he was very much sad because his movement was based on non-violent method of satyagraha. Gandhiji was a firm believer of ahimsa and satyagraha. When the news came to Gandhiji, Gandhiji decided to withdraw the movement. Gandhiji realized that the movement had become violent since his movement was dependent on ahimsa and satyagraha. But the movement failed to achieve success. The movement had become violent. Police of Gorakhpur had become violent and aggressive. They set on fire and killed 22 policemen. That news reached Gandhiji, and immediately he decided to withdraw the non-cooperation movement. So it was due to the Chori Chora incident. The Chori Chora incident, Gandhiji withdrew the non-cooperation movement, my dear students, in the year 1922, in the month of February 5, Gandhiji started, at the time when Gandhiji started, Gandhiji decided to withdraw the non-cooperation movement. That time, before the reason occurred, means the Chori Chora incident in the month of February 5th, 1922, Gandhiji decided ultimately to withdraw the non-cooperation movement on February 12, 1922. So 5th February 1922, Chori Chora incident took place, and 12th February 1922, Gandhiji withdrew the non-cooperation movement. So this action of Gandhiji suspended the non-cooperation movement, but the distinguished leaders who remained the jail that time, who remained there in the jail, who were there that time, they were Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, he was in jail. Lala Lajpat Rai was in jail. Motilal Nehru, although he was outside the jail, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was in jail. So they all collectively criticized the decision of Gandhiji's withdrawal of non-cooperation movement. And they openly reacted like that way when the movement was on its climax. When the movement was on its climax, Gandhiji withdrew the non-cooperation movement. Motilal Nehru, father of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, openly criticized Deshbandhu Chittaranjan Das, follower of Motilal Nehru. He also criticized the decision of withdrawal of non-cooperation movement. But Gandhiji was a great personality. So Gandhiji's decision was respected by everyone. And his decision, in view of his great personal influence in Indian politics, that's why many people of India they respected the decision of Gandhiji. And Gandhiji openly assured Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, that if the thing had not been suspended, then we would have been leading not a non-violent struggle. The cause will prosper by this retreat, quote unquote. Gandhiji's reaction he made before Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, so Jawaharlal Nehru would remain silent. Gandhiji suspended the law-breaking part of the movement and asked congressmen to pay attention to the matter, like strengthen the unity between the Hindus and Muslims, and to popularization the program of Swadeshi and boycott, but at the time when Gandhiji was continuing the system of protest by means of non-violent method of satyagraha, withdrew the non-cooperation movement, and most of the people of India they supported Gandhiji. That time the British government arrested Gandhiji. During midnight he reached there, and the main door of the house was closed, and they knocked the door and forced Gandhiji. People of the family of Gandhiji, they did not want to awake him, but ultimately the British police forced them to do it. So Gandhiji was awakened, and then Gandhiji came down and was arrested. Gandhiji was arrested, and Gandhiji was sentenced to 6 years of imprisonment. 6 years of imprisonment, but within 2 years, Gandhiji was released from the jail because of his broken health. His health was being deteriorated. That's why Gandhiji was released within 2 years instead of 6. So, the impact of non-cooperation movement. What was the impact of non-cooperation movement? Now I am going to teach you the impact of the non-cooperation movement. Impact of the non-cooperation movement. What was the impact of the non-cooperation movement? Although Gandhiji's non-cooperation movement created nationwide acceptance, he was able to make it mass movement, especially when he adopted the program of non-violent method, adopted the program of Swadeshi, boycott and boycotting of foreign goods, foreign clothes, foreign schools, colleges, universities, and foreign titles, foreign jobs, and convincing the people of India to boycott it, to give up their legal professions for the lawyers, professions for the teachers, doctors, engineers, and students to leave their schools, college, government schools, especially British schools, British colleges, British universities. The time when Gandhiji adopted that program, most of the people of India they responded strongly, and the movement had become mass movement. So it was a great achievement of Gandhiji when he started the non-cooperation movement, especially in protest against the three incidents, especially Rawla attack and Jallianwala Bagh incident, in protest against the issue of Khilafat movement, the people of India, both the Hindus and Muslims, strongly supported the stance of Gandhiji, and they joined hands collectively in protest against the British rule. But the movement ultimately, Gandhiji failed to make them agree to accept to say only one word, sorry, for Jallianwala Bagh massacre, or to solve the problem of the Khilafat issue. Gandhiji promised to achieve Swaraj within 1 year, but it was not also fulfilled. Ultimately, Gandhiji, the nation, Gandhiji's movement became a mass movement, and ultimately it became a movement of Indian peasants, workers, students, teachers, and of course some industrialists and capitalists, and some zamindars who still remain hostile. But at the time when Gandhi, some industrialists, some capitalists, some zamindars still remain hostile because they favored the British rule, and they did not want to leave them in the interest of themselves, because they wanted to take many privileges from the British government. That's why they remained. They were totally they are totally dependent on the British policy of governance, and hence the zamindars, capitalists, and some industrialists remain hostile and antagonist the Swadeshi and boycott movement. And Jawaharlal Nehru described non-cooperation movement as a peaceful rebellion, but a most civilized form of warfare also, yet dangerous to the stability of the state rule. Second impact of the non-cooperation movement instilled confidence among the people. The people were able to be confident that there was a rule for the country, for the people of India, which would protect the people of India because of their leader Mahatma Gandhi. So people had confidence, and hence the people rightly said, Bipin Chandra rightly said, out of the experience of his attempt to defy openly the foreign rulers of the government they had set up, was born a new sense of self-confidence and self-esteem, quote unquote. It was quoted by whom? By Bipin Chandra. Rightly he quoted it. Now the Congress became a revolutionary movement. Gandhiji's movement was based on non-violent method of satyagraha, but in course of time, the movement under the Congress leaders had become more and more aggressive. The movement became revolutionary movement. It transformed the Indian National Congress from a deliberative assembly into an organization for action. They decided to take action against the British government, because still the British government did not realize that the issue of Jallianwala Bagh had harmed the sentiments of Indian people. That's why the people of India were greatly shocked at the incident of Jallianwala Bagh. But still, they had no intention, they had no regrets for this. They had not used that term, sorry. They had not used that term. Still then, that's why the Congress leaders became more and more active, more and more aggressive, in order to make them say only one word, sorry, for the Jallianwala Bagh incident. And at the time when they demanded self-government within the British Empire, that demand also was not accepted. So they wanted to make them agree to accept that demand. But the people of India, they gave stress, they gave importance to the unity of the Hindus and Muslims. And because till now the British government did not solve the Khilafat issue. So it provided an opportunity to the Congress to bring the urban Muslims into national movement by convincing them the nation was equally concerned with the problems affecting them. It was due to the effort of the Congress leaders. The Muslim leaders were able to understand that it was the right time to be united against the injustice of the British done to them. The British did not accept them to be the people of India, but wild beasts. They had no honor, they had no dignity. Open and then they were insulted. Just like Turkey at the end of the First World War, Turkey had been defeated and then was humiliated at the hands of the Allied powers, Great Britain. But Sultan of Turkey was insulted. Since Sultan of Turkey was the religious head, they decided to organize a movement. That movement was known as Khilafat movement. By whom? By two Ali brothers. At the same time, to arrest more and more people of India, the Rowlatt Act was passed. Justice Rowlatt passed one act. That act was known as Rowlatt Act. It was passed, and it was passed in order to arrest innocent people of India. Thousands of innocent people were arrested under the terms of the Rowlatt Act. Gandhiji declared it a black act, and there were so many demonstrations throughout the country, India, against the Rowlatt Act. Meanwhile, the Jallianwala Bagh incident took place. Under the terms of the Rowlatt Act, two famous Congress leaders, Dr. Shaiktapal and Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu, were arrested under the terms of that very act, the Rowlatt Act. So, a large group of people of Amritsar, Punjab, they organized a meeting. That meeting conducted a meeting at a very small park, Jallianwala Bagh, where so many people, including old aged, including women, children, they all were present there. But General Dayar ordered his troops to open fire, and they all were died. 1,000 years, about 1,000 people died, and more than 1,000 people were wounded. And then Gandhiji withdrew the non-cooperation movement. Why? As Gandhiji started the non-cooperation movement in order to follow the three factors. But ultimately, Gandhiji withdrew the non-cooperation movement. Why? Because of the Chauri Chaura incident. The people of Chauri Chaura, especially peasants, farmers, they attacked the police station at midnight, and there were 22 policemen were present there, working there. And they set the police station, they set on fire, they set the police station, they set on the police station fire, and then 22 policemen were killed. That incident came to Gandhiji. Whenever Gandhiji heard that incident, he realized that his movement had become non-violent, but his movement was his movement had become violent instead of non-violence. But his movement was based on non-violence, non-violent method, ahimsa. But whenever he realized that the movement had no control, it had become violent, he withdrew the non-cooperation movement. And ultimately, he was unable to make them agree that the reason that the incident of Jallianwala Bagh was really unsympathetic. The British did not utter that word, sorry. Why? They did not beg any apology. That's why the people of India also strongly supported the stand of Indian national movement, and common people, they also became a part of Indian national movement. The teachers, the doctors, the engineers, the students, the peasants, farmers, all group of people, they joined the Indian national movement, and Indian national movement became ultimately a mass movement. Next day, my dear students, we start from next point, foster Hindu-Muslim unity. Thank you, my dear students.